Hello right bags, it's Jade. Welcome to DAYZ Status Report for July. Big news today, so please make sure you leave a like, go and check out the rest of my DAYZ content and guides, and let's take a look at the future. Man, there are some big changes happening. There's going to be some free content, there's going to be some paid content, and huge news for console. We are finally getting rentable servers. So I'm going to read this post out. DAYZ is out on all major platforms. You've probably seen team changes on social networks and wondering what's next. That's only natural. Today we'd like to talk about the current issues, the expectations set by both the DAYZ mod and 0.62 and the future of the game. Console updates will happen after the PC updates, within 3 to 4 weeks of each other. The main reason for this lies with the specifics related to the console submission and review process. It takes 3 to 7 days for a submitted game to go through review. If it's decided that the build is good to publish, it takes 3 more days to roll that update out to the public. However, if there are any issues flagged as a must fix by Sony or Microsoft, even ones that could be fixed in an hour, the whole process has to start again. Because this review process can take so long, we use the readily available PC platform to try new versions early to check to see if there are any significant issues we missed. As you know, it happens. This PC testing lets us deliver the console update in a more reliable state and minimise the chance of resending builds for review. A quick 1.04 update. We will carry out a complete server and character wipe and will introduce private servers. Also, this update will address some of the current most troublesome issues in the game, including duping, server hopping and frame rates. So that is pretty big stuff. They haven't explained why it's been so long though for an update to come to Xbox. Literally the last update for console was in April. So if you don't know, 1.3, 1.4 are both coming together for Xbox and PlayStation around the end of this month. They decided to hold 1.3 back until 1.4 was ready for whatever reason. Maybe it was because they were getting the PlayStation 4 version ready. Hopefully in the future they're good to their word. It is only going to be 3 or 4 weeks that we see the updates come out on console after PC. Now, the server and character wipe, I don't think is necessarily going to be the end of the world. You guys have been commenting so much more videos saying you're sick of duping, you're sick of server hopping. So a brand new fresh start for everyone I think is a pretty good idea. And I actually think games like these should have wipes every quarter or so. Rust does it pretty much every sort of 30 days, I do believe. I could be wrong on that, don't quote me. And it works out really well. It means people have a chance to go and get new loot. As we know in DAYZ, certain loot doesn't always respawn correctly and it can be held up by players and you'll never see them guns or them types of items again. So a good fresh wipe every now and then I think is really important. But yes, hopefully the server hopping is going to be reduced. I've shown you guys on PC how that's working now. Basically, when you try server hopping, you're going to be jumping to different points in the map. And most of them points look like they were on the coast. And again, that will hopefully stop the duping methods that are going on. Although they haven't elaborated exactly what they're going to be doing to stop the duping. Frame rates and performance is a massive issue on console. With so many problems and issues. Rendering in buildings, rendering items, zombies, as well as being able to aim down your sights. It's just pretty much a big mess. And private rentable servers is an absolute must. It means we can definitely change and add settings and control stuff a little bit more. And you can build up some really good communities. I will be hosting servers for sure. Not just PlayStation, but I will set up ones for Xbox as well. So if you want to come and play on my servers where I'm going to be doing content pretty much daily, make sure you've subscribed, make sure you've got notifications turned on and come and join my Discord. But you guys let me know about some of that stuff. Are you happy with the wipe or are you really sad that you've been building up stuff? As far as we know, the update's not going to be happening until the end of the month. It's only going into certification this week, so it could be around the 25th, 26th of July before we see it. So, the next part of the post talks about DAYZ in the past. Parity with 0.62 and the DAYZ mod. Full parity isn't possible because of the engine specifics. While features from 5 years ago are exciting, we want to remind you most of the features didn't really work properly back then, and this is why it wasn't in the final game. You might question the necessity of a new engine, but for those who took a long break from the game, it's plain to just see how much of a difference it has made. DAYZ runs a lot smoother on the new engine. Although it might be hard to notice the change when you play daily, taking a step back should help to highlight many of the improvements that have been made during development. And these improvements are strengthening the game every day. You see it through the steadily increasing player count even on PC since March 2019, public data is here. It is true, I've been showing you guys how many players are sticking to DayZ nowadays. December, when it left early access on Steam, was its highest count it's had in years, and since then with each update the player base has increased and increased, and that has been helped by the Twitch numbers too. Not to mention YouTubers and the big growth in it as well from players watching it from owning the PlayStation 4 version. You can really see it was down to the PlayStation 4 launch that so much interest in DayZ really popped up. Console players may not have PCs, but they're happy enough to watch PC streamers and YouTubers play the game. So think on that, you PC streamers and tubers out there. The success some of you guys are getting, or getting a big hike in your views, is down to console players. Maybe it's time you actually played on a console, just for a laugh. They want to get more advanced health system in place. They improved it in 1.4 and will continue the balancing. However, at this time we will not commit to implementing complex medical injury gameplay. While this is desired by many hardcore players, we're still struggling to fully explain the complexity of the existing system to the majority of players. Moving forward, we're working on a nice balance between authenticity and accessibility. New content, guns, cars, etc. As you know, we've already added some of these. More will follow, but keep in mind that it will depend on how quickly we can achieve this year's goals. Modding support. We will further improve the experience of both modders and players. For example, we'll soon bring animation tool support. Stable base building. A large part of this is the matter of balancing, and it's one of our key objectives of the year. The focus for DayZ for the rest of 2019 will be bug fixing, stabilising, balancing and modding support. All of that is a little bit okay and a little bit underwhelming in the same breath. The fact is that the health system is just a bit of a non-starter. There's so many items in the game that absolutely do nothing. Morphine pens do absolutely nothing for you. And there's no real logical way that you can test a lot of the features in the game, like diseases. Maybe they need to add certain items that you could literally see what kind of disease you've got, rather than just blanket taking tetracycline pills. If they really want more realistic gameplay, there are of course ways that we can test what diseases and what problems we have. But also the injury issues. I've shown you guys recently in a video, my DayZ myths video, how far you can fall without dying. Pretty much how health items don't necessarily work, and how in years gone by you would actually break your leg and have to craft a splint to fix your leg. That isn't in DayZ at the moment, but it'd be interesting to see some of that come back. So it's good that they're thinking of adding some of that stuff. I'm a bit worried about the new content. Although it says that's what they're going to be adding, they've also put, it says it depends on quickly how they can get the rest of these goals implemented. We've had a fairly steady stream of items, particularly guns and cars, come into the game. Although of course console is now 2 updates behind, so we're missing out on a bit more than PC for sure. Modding support is pretty interesting. If they somehow get that to work on console, which I highly doubt, but it is something they haven't ruled out, that could be a game changer. That would make DayZ one of the premium survival games on console. One thing DayZ definitely does need, and I know the devs are resistant to add it completely, is an offline game mode. On console this would be an absolute lovely addition to the game. Renting your own server is okay, but that's going to be pretty expensive, and depending on who you're using, if it's G-Portal, well they're quite trash really. I'm not a big fan of G-Portal. I've used lots of different server providers and G-Portal just tend to be not that great. But anyway, modding support, making it more open. They're doing that right now on PC. They're making it easier for you to add mods to your servers, and that's great news. So if they can get that for console, I really would start championing DayZ even more than I am. I know I'm being critical, but I do recognise the way they've moved forward. Stable base building, again, that is something definitely for sure. Players really feel like there's no point in DayZ. That's why there's so much kill on site or just trolling. Without really having big stable bases, it just becomes a bit of a chore. At the moment you can break into bases just by having a picklock or simply ghosting in and out. So when the changes are there for console to stop server hopping, that will reduce that for sure. How they really are going to do the stable base building though, I'm not 100% guaranteeing. The fact they've not really gone and expanded on that is again a little bit of a worry. What really is a worry is this DLC plan they've announced as well. There's going to be an official DLC this year. Keep your eyes open and follow us on social media for updates. Additionally, we are currently experimenting with Survivor games, a mod and popular tournament from the past, and will possibly bring this to DayZ as an additional game mode. There's some good stuff there. I thank God that they will consider bringing the survivor games as a game mode. Charging money for something that was a mod back in the day, I really think was a terrible idea, and it just screams cash grab. I'm sure they've pretty much read and seen all the feedback they got over social media about survivor games and realised it was a bad move not to have this as a free update. Now, they haven't actually put it there 100%, but having this as any sort of paid DLC, I think you're going to see a lot of negativity come their way once more. DLC should harness, and it should give you guys more options to play and make it more fun and interesting. It shouldn't be just rehashed content that's been in the game previously. And for sure, when a game is not in maybe the best spot it could be, charging players more money for something, it's just not the way to go. So again, that official DLC, whatever they've got planned, is worrying me. I don't think this is the time. Maybe obviously it's going to be right to the end of the year, and by then we'll be looking at lots of these issues and lots of the content that's gone into it and saying that DayZ's in a really healthy spot. But if they're going to just release some cash grab DLC when the game still needs so much fixing, again on console, I'm really not going to be happy with Bohemia. DLC also needs to be priced fairly. DayZ is one of the most expensive games of its type on console and PC. Considering the lack of content in the game and the buggy state of it, it really is a joke that they're going to be charging any money for any content in the future. I understand they are business though, they have got to generate some money somewhere, but console surely has helped them. There's definitely been a good few 100,000 put into the PS4. In fact, I can pretty much guarantee they've sold over 1 million copies on the PlayStation 4 since it launched. And it seems some of the changes and some of the hard work that's gone on behind the scenes has affected who is going to be taking forward DayZ in the future. Basically, their whole team is looking like it's quitting. Peter, the lead designer who led the design direction of DayZ through many tough years, Eugene, the project lead, and Martin, the brand manager who got the game to come to Xbox and PlayStation, they're all leaving. Not to mention the community manager Batty as well. This is a strange thing to happen with a game just coming out with early access, full 1.0. They've got plans to add DLC, plans to add game updates. That's the time that you want your best people on the case. But it looks like some of these guys are jumping ship. I'm not being hyperbole here. If a game is doing well, you want your people to stay, and the people usually want to stay as well, especially when they can maybe take the game in a new direction or just keep working on the good work they've done. They are not necessarily leaving the company, they could be just leaving for different projects. Again, I'm not 100% sure on this, I will let you guys know. If they're working on new stuff inside the Bohemia project labels, that's great, maybe we'll see some new games coming out. But for sure, they've got a few games that are still in early access. Vigor is coming out late this summer. That's a free-to-play Xbox game, or it will be free-to-play eventually. At the moment, it's got some dubious sort of starter pack that you have to buy to play it. And they've got their other game, Wildlands, as well, which has been languishing in early access for a couple of years now. So some great stuff, some great answers, but again, it leaves more questions being asked. Cynically, from where I'm looking, it looks like DayZ is being left with a bit of a skeleton crew. That's why it's going to take longer to get some of the stuff that they wanted into the game. And rather than put more money and more actual investment in DayZ, Bohemia are doing what they've always done, and they're stripping back the development when it's the perfect time to put more money into it. You guys let me know though, what's going on with DayZ? Are you happy with these changes? For console, you guys are just going to be happy we've got servers and the updates coming in at the same time. But for long-time fans, PC players particularly, I bet you guys are pretty much going, yep, we've seen this happen before. Well, literally as I left a comment talking about what I saw as some negatives, they have actually answered back some of them. The community manager Impulses says there are no current plans for modding support on consoles, and that indeed 1.3 being delayed was because they were getting it ready for PlayStation release. There won't be any more update skipping for consoles in the future, and that they are looking at new hires already in place, and that the new lead positions are taken over by other team members currently in their production and design that have been with the game for years. So that does make me feel a little bit better, but I am still a little bit concerned about the content that's going to be coming on, the content that's going to be dropped. All that said, I'm still loving DayZ, I'm loving getting on it, it's the game that I want to play the most at the moment. I just really wish they would go to the next level with some investment. They could make DayZ the standout game. For sure it's doing well on PlayStation, and I know there's more interest in it on Xbox, And of course it's there for PC. Keep this going up, guys. Keep this ball rolling. As ever, I will let you guys know the minute the updates are ready for Xbox and PlayStation and any big changes for PC. And stay tuned for more information about the rentable servers. I will show you guys exactly how to set up your servers and where and how you can install them and buy them. Until next time, Ratbags, I will see you for more DayZ news soon.